Hi, my name is Dr. Petra Swissler. I'm a professor here at the New Jersey Institute of Technology, Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, and this is an episode of Resume Roast. So I had someone send in their resume. This particular person is looking to get some sort of position in robotics, and so just taking a look at it, this person, Jignesh Band, told them to put a joke name. I don't know what joke this is, but that's fine. Um, so looking over here, overall, just from a broad strokes, it does seem pretty well organized. Um, Nothing really stands out as far as bad spacing or anything like that. The only thing that I will say is that the margins are very narrow, and I don't think that that's great. I mean, when people get a piece of paper, they want to see something that looks comfortable, and if you're crowding those margins, yes, he can fit a bit more, which is why he did it. But the overall effect makes it look a bit crowded. The other good thing that I want to point out here is that this person just graduated with their undergrad, and they only have one page. That is what you want, right? Someone graduating with a bachelor's degree is not going to have a multi-page resume. That might not be the case for an artist or something like that, where they have their portfolio. But for someone graduating with an engineering degree, one page is about what you expect. So this person, right? It's very easy to tell exactly where their education is. Any employer, that is going to be the primary thing they care about here is, where did you graduate from? When did you graduate? What was your GPA? What was your major, right? And with this, it's very easy to see that. So good job there, though. That missing point oh 0.01, man, that has got to sting. Honors, most distinguished senior. That's good. That's very good. That's a good thing to highlight there. Relevant coursework. For the first few years of your career, yes, this is a good thing to have. Eventually, you want to drop this within the first few years, because eventually your coursework is really not nearly as important. But that's good. The really good thing here, this person did not put the course numbers. As an employer, I do not care about the course numbers. I care about the title. And these seem generally pretty well targeted towards robotics. Maybe not computer architecture. Maybe put that a bit further down. I think that relevant coursework, robotics, control systems, embedded systems, then digital, then computer is how I do that. Skills and activities. Yeah, this seems pretty good. I mean, languages, C++, Python, Java, Verilog. There would be people who say Verilog is not a programming language. It is a description of the gates, but we'll let that slide. And I might be wrong with that. That might be on me. But if I remember correctly, Verilog is for programming. And by programming, I mean, physically putting in the different gates for an FPGA. And so I don't think that's technically programming, but whatever. MATLAB, there's no reason to yell, because MATLAB doesn't stand for something, whatever. Rust, CUDA, RISC-V, ISA. Generally good. If you're trying to get a research position, probably MATLAB should be a tiny bit higher, but that's probably fine. The other thing that I say a lot is, what makes you special. So I would put CUDA a bit further up, because that's not a typical thing to really have. Also, just the fact that you might be able to put in a bit more space between these, because it just kind of runs along. Technologies, frameworks, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Git, AWS, Multisim, KiCad, FPGA. Pandas, maybe. Yeah. It's probably fine. You might just want to put this under skills or something like that. Just because right now it's just a very long piece of text, and if you can add a bit more space between them, it might be good. Um, Activities. I don't know what GRSS is. Grass. ETA. Oh, ADA, not ETA. Debate team, robotics team. Yeah, okay. That's probably good. Experience. Okay. So we're looking at an internship, right? So this is pretty well laid out, where you have financial company. This person omitted where they worked for, but have the actual company here, and it's very easy to tell. Where did you work? What was your role? When did you do it? Where was it? I'd see if you can kind of condense everything down to one line each, just because that makes it a bit nicer. The other thing is, you should be using justified alignment when you can. Machine learning intern, probably also put the city. Yeah, the other good thing is that they're using verbs. This person's using verbs for each of their bullet points, which is exactly what you want to do. Employed Markov chains to compute distance measures. Establish. Yeah, I mean, you might want to condense these down to 2 bullet points each. I mean, especially as you start going down here. The other thing is, people are going to look and be like, okay, you had the same dates that you were doing aerospace firm and Google. I don't know what to make of that. Maybe that's a typo, but prototyped using an Arduino to Uno to read from sensors, control output devices, schematic PCB and KiCad. Yeah, research. Hey, it's me. Probably put the professor that you did this with as well up here. Yeah, I know that the paper's not published yet. Eventually, you'll want to put the word there. Also, pet peeve, utilized. Just say used. It's fewer syllables. Projects. Yeah. So, if you're thinking about the target market here, right? The target is a company. If I were hiring someone, right, I would want to know their education, what skills they have, their experience, then projects, then research, right? Because companies care more about the projects than research. Again, try to condense this down a tiny bit. People don't like to read. This is one of probably 100 resumes that a given person is going to look at in a day. So I would take a step back, and I would, set yourself a limit on the margins, right? And then I would reduce things to hit that. Additionally, I would see if you can give a tiny bit more space between the sections, maybe. But overall, this is a pretty well laid out resume. I think the story here is pretty clear. You're saying, this is where I was educated. During this education, I gained these skills, which led me to success in these internships. Additionally, I worked on these projects. So I think overall, it's a pretty clean story that you have here, and I think it's laid out pretty well. I'm not seeing any real flaws in the descriptions that you have here, outside of making it shorter, right? Yeah, because you also have to keep in mind, right? People are going to look at your resume once. What is important should jump out immediately. And I think right now with all these words, my eyes kind of just glaze over it. So that is that is my roast of the resume. You have been roasted.